Good evening. It's the end of the world as we know it. Theresa May has called a general election. Me and Sam O'Reilly are here to discuss that. Nope, because nobody gives a fuck. We're here to talk about boxing. How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good. Just at work. Patiently waiting for your phone call all evening as always, mate.
Well, at least the phone call has arrived. Much like the general... Nah, we don't care. Yeah, man. What's happening? What's happening in the boxing world today? We've had Anthony Joshua having a little bit of a spat with Tyson Fury, which we're not really going to touch on. What was your thoughts on that briefly, mate?
Nah, didn't give a fuck.
Nope, me neither. Like to see Fury back though. Hopefully, if he can get back in shape.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's irrelevant. This is the thing that pisses me off. It's irrelevant talking about it because Fury looks around fucking 28 stone and
he's so big. He's so big. Oh, me too. Great boxer. Which brings us on to the subject of the call, which we said earlier on. We're going to discuss currently the best camp in British boxing, the best stable in British boxing. I know you've got a couple of ideas to throw about. You mentioned Joe Gallagher, I think was your...
Yeah, I did, yeah. Listen, we've got to be clear, right? With discussion is best camp, best stable, it's not best trainer. So, if we're being honest and we're looking at Joe Gallagher's stable, he's got some good fighters in there. You know what I mean? Callum Smith is very well thought of by a lot of people. Paul Smith is a multiple-time world title challenger.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, he is?
No. Yep.
Liam Smith was world champion.
Yeah, good head.
And Crawler. I'm a Crawler fan. So
yeah, I like Crawler.
You know what I mean? And then Cardle, Burton. He's got good fighters in his gym.
Cardle's shite, mate.
You said it. He was British champion for a while and he got found out. He's been lucky to keep hold of that belt for a little while. Yeah. He's finally lost it now. Yeah,
he was lucky. No, you're right. So we're not talking best trainer then. We're talking best current crop affiliated to a gym. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Okay.
In my head because yeah.
So let's just throw out a couple of names in and we'll dissect them. I will throw out to you, following on from Joe Gallagher, I'll throw out to you Shane McGuigan.
Excellent camp.
Yeah.
I mean, you start with a big boy, David Hay, right? I know people hate him, and yes, I'm a little bit in love with him. Always have been, always will. But the man is a unified cruiserweight champion of the world. May it be a shadow of his former self, but he's a massive name. Groves. I love George Groves. For me, he's one of the best fighters out of Britain that hasn't won a world title yet. What do you think of Groves? I've never got your opinion on Groves.
I quite like... When Groves was facing De Gale, I was really, really big on Groves. I thought, yep, love Groves, loves the way he conducted himself, handled it with class, and I thought he won that fight. And then the Carl Froch thing came along. I thought he conducted himself very well in the first fight. For me, he was going to get stopped in the first fight. I know he likes to moan about it, but I thought he was going to get stopped later on in that round. And then the second fight, he just kind of became the James De Gale of the first fight. Do you know what I mean? He kind of just sunk down to that level, and I know why he'd done it. Carl Froch is a pain in the arse, isn't he? But yeah, he kind of lost a bit of shine for me. Then he kind of got a little bit back, and then I think we all underrated Badu Jack. I think that's what happened. We all underrated Badu Jack, and we thought Grove should beat him. That'll be fine. Jack's, this random Swedish guy who's ended up in America. And Jack's actually a very, very good fighter. So
no, I agree with that. I think Groves probably he probably didn't give the respect to Badu Jack, and he had issues at the time. Once he fell out with Booth or left Booth, however that happened. Before he was with McGuigan, obviously he had Paddy with him for a little while.
Yeah.
Patrick, who's well thought of, but he's never had a top level fighter himself. Whether he passed the blame off on him, whether he should have, is another question. But for me, Groves has got one of the best jabs in the game.
Yeah.
His jab can take a man apart. He did it with Martin Murray, if you ask me. Behind that jab all night long.
Yeah.
And listen, I think I think he's shown new tools under McGuigan.
Yeah.
So he's part of a big stable there. You know, Josh Taylor, Carl Frampton. Fuck me.
I was going to say we left Carl Frampton to the end there.
I know. I was going downwards in weight. You see, the big boys. The little boys.
I get you.
I missed that comment coming. There's some really, really top fighters in that gym. I say in that gym. I don't know if they're all ever in there at once. I think McGuigan splits his time between them. It's a little different than other gyms. I may be wrong in that, but I don't think they're ever in there all at once training together. I think they have their own specific times leading up to their fights.
I think that's a fair shout. We've seen McGuigan over in Miami with David Hay, so he obviously spends time with different fighters. Josh Taylor, massive prospect. I know you just touched on that there. I think he's a massive prospect, and the Jackal, man, one of my favourite fighters.
Top man he is.
Great fighter, great guy as well. Seems like a really nice geezer. Carl Frampton, hopefully see him back in action soon in Northern Ireland, I think, from what I hear.
Really? Santa Cruz?
Nah.
Santa Cruz done one, does he?
Santa Cruz has got a mandatory, or he's been obligated to fight Mares, I believe, Abner Mares. But you never know, it's boxing, it could all be nonsense. Decent stable, the McGuigan stable. On recent form, probably not the best in the UK. On recent form.
No, that's fair to say. Hay lost, Frampton lost. Taylor obviously undefeated, looking good. But I think you're right. In the big fights, he's lost his biggest 2 fights this year, hasn't he?
Yep. So I would say currently probably not top of the pile. Joe Gallagher's on horrendous form. Well, I know we're not talking about trainers, but if we're just talking about stables, if we're just talking about...
Keep coming back to poor old Joe Gallagher.
He is on awful form, isn't he?
Well, yeah. Marcus Morrison, that fight where he was supposed to win that fight, forgot about him when we mentioned the camp, but Jose Burton lost his British title to Buglioni in December, and I think it's been downhill since then.
Scotty Cardle lost his British title last weekend. Liam Smith lost to Canelo, in fairness. Crawler outclassed by Linares and looked as though he was adopting the same game plan in both fights. Scott Quigg left the camp. He's over in wildcard now. They're not having the best. Stephen Smith lost his most recent world title shot as well. Not having the best of times there. But like you said, decent stable of fighters. Let's have a look at other stables then. We've touched on as a trainer how good Peter Fury is. Not a massive stable though, does he?
No, he hasn't. Obviously, Tyson and Huey are his shining. He's got some other youngsters in there. He's got Tom Aspinall as well.
Yeah, Conor Sheehan.
Con Sheehan. Yeah, so he's got some boys, but I think overall his state. Well, I said Tyson. We can't include Tyson, can we?
We can't include him in a current stable. No, I guess not. No.
So,
loves a heavyweight. Probably the best trainer of heavyweights the country's seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I'd second that.
But yeah, not much to talk about there. Let's go on. Let's talk about the one me and you spoke about previously. Adam Booth, man, the magician, the master of the mind, Adam Booth.
Fucking Adam Booth. The man is I think he's a little bit of a crazy genius. One of them guys where he's definitely a little bit. He's just got a mad mind, isn't he? He's got a boxing mind.
He's very intense.
Yeah, he's intense as fuck. But I like him. You go back to what David Hay had done previously. There was a lot of it down to Booth.
Yeah.
The value of fight sticks out. The game plan.
Perfect.
Groves beating DeGale was a similar game plan.
Perfect.
For whatever reason, I think once he lost. I say lost. I don't know the situation of but Hay obviously partially retired, 3.5 years out. Split with Groves, and there was a little bit of time where Booth wasn't really on the scene, was he? Didn't have many fighters.
Kind of slipped away a little bit, yeah. Don't know what happened there.
Then fuck me, did he come back with a bang?
Jeez. That.
Rattle them off.
Jesus, crack. I'm going to forget some. Billy Joe Saunders, Andy Lee, Charlie Edwards, Mitchell Smith, Yeah, you can name some now.
Jez Smith. Who do we say? Richard Towers still.
Is that what you were coming back with? Jez Smith? That's what you've hit me with?
What's wrong with Jez Smith? He's a good fighter.
Fucking Jez Smith.
My boy Lucian Reed. Very good fighter.
Lucian Reed, good
Ryan
fighter.
Burnett. Did you say Burnett?
Fucking Burnett. That's who we're missing, Burnett.
I'm not missing anyone. There's just too many. It's amazing. The camp is fucking ridiculous.
And look at Charlie Edwards last week against Ian Butcher. I know Butcher had trouble making the weight, and I think he's probably, I don't want to say limited as a fighter, Butcher, because he's probably alright. He's probably better than he showed last week. But Charlie Edwards looked sensational, man.
I don't think it's unfair to say Butcher's probably a little bit limited. I think he's a very good fighter. But Charlie Edwards proved that he's a step above that. And from what I've seen of Charlie Edwards before now, he's looked good. But, how good he looked this time around, it was just sensational. He looked excellent.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable performance. I was watching that thinking, Jesus Christ. Oh, is Josh Kelly not there?
Yeah, Josh Kelly. Yeah, I said Kelly.
Josh Kelly, my best mate, Josh Kelly.
Not best mate, you got a crush on him. He's a little bit different.
Well, he follows me on Twitter, so he'll probably hear this. I'm sure he listens to everything I do. Shout out Josh Kelly, handsome bastard. Yeah, good stable, man. That Josh Kelly looks legit as well.
Yeah, great stable, and mate, they got two British champions now in Burnett and Charlie Edwards, and they could certainly have a few more down the road. I'm a fan of Lucian Reed. I think he's a prospect.
Yep.
Mitchell Smith, when his head's screwed on,
yep,
is exceptional, and Josh Kelly, I don't know where the limit is for him, because his debut, if that's anything to go by, mate, he's going to be hitting some heavy, like some really big, soon as well, because he started with a 6-rounder. There's no point, I like that. He
started with a 6-rounder against a guy who was 4-1 as well. He's like J Burns, no joke, man. He took Felix Cash a few rounds and made Felix Cash work for a victory. So to come out with your debut against a guy like that caliber, that says a lot.
Definitely says a lot. I don't think they're going to hang about pushing him. He doesn't need a lot of build up padding record type fights.
Shout out Marco Dodge, Mike Tyson for life. Mike Tyson for life, bro. Fucking Marco Dodge. Yeah, what was I going to say? I think for me, the big acid test and how we're going to judge Adam Booth's stable, Billy Joe Saunders, man. Billy Joe Saunders. What does Billy Joe Saunders do? How does he look? Because in his last fight before he moved there, he looked like a pile of dog shit, let's be honest. He didn't look very good.
Yeah, I don't like the thought of him fighting Golovkin before he's had one fight under Booth first.
Yeah.
But it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? Because he wants to fight. Whether that fight happens next or not is another thing. But listen, Billy Joe's a great fighter.
Very talented. Yeah, very talented.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with Booth. I really am. But if we're going to move on, unless you want to add anything else on those boys.
All I was going to say was, Adam Booth reminds me of when you went to school and you had a teacher who you were pretty sure was sound. He was a decent guy, and sometimes he would say really weird shit, and you thought he was cracking a joke. But he never actually smiled. That's what Adam Booth reminds me of. Yeah, move on, man. Move on.
Well, you mentioned Felix Cash, so it brings me to the Sims gym. A little bit closer to home, 20 minutes down the road from me, Brentwood.
Yep.
Let's throw the Sims gyms together, because you've got the Tony Sims, which is known as the Matchroom Gym, and his brother Peter Sims gym down the road. And they do a lot of work together. They spar together most days of the week. So let's include them as one big stable, right?
Yep.
Craig Spider Richards, very good prospect,
Good
Southern
fighter.
area title holder. O'Hara Davis, Felix Cash, Connor Ben, Mikey Saki. Who else am I missing? Ted Cheeseman.
Yeah.
So they've got very good fighters now. Obviously, Joe Cordina's down there as well. Now, they're prospects at a gym, aren't they? They don't have any... Well, Ricky Burns, I was about to say they don't have any world champs. Ricky Burns is with them, but obviously he's just lost his title to Ndongo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good stable in British boxing. Some excellent fighters and future world champs. No doubt there's future world champs in that stable right there. John Ryder is fighting for the British title on Saturday.
Yep, best of luck.
Best of luck to him.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, a very good gym there, the Sims gym.
Now, how much do you think the gym was damaged by the loss of Anthony Joshua? How much do you think that caused any issues in the gym that Joshua wanted to leave and moved up to work with Rob McCracken? Would that have dented people's confidence in the gym, do you think? Or do you think, well, you've been there, mate, you've been at Peter Sims's gym, you know more than me.
Yeah, no, do you know what the thing with AJ? He never trained there full time. He always split it between McCracken and down at the Sims. Obviously, it kind of made sense for him to be down at the Sims because of where he's based.
Yeah.
But obviously now, as he gets, his fights will get fewer and far. But it's different when you're fighting every 2 or 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now his fights are the major title fights, and he's only going to have maybe 2 or 3 a year. I think he can afford to do a 10, 12-week camp away from home. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of that, but I don't think there's an issue. I think he's still cool with him. He'll still be down here when he's local. He probably goes up and trains there anyway. So I don't think it'll be it would have been a major loss to them, as he's still part of the team, if not being cornered by Tony Sims.
How quickly can you move these prospects? Who's from the guys that you mentioned there? We won't include O'Hara Davis because he's on the cusp. He's ranked top 10 with a couple of governing bodies already. Who's the guy that's going to be pushed the quickest, do you think, out of the guys you mentioned? Cheeseman, Cash, Richards, all these guys?
Just while I remember, someone who's just left their camp, Ben Hall, have you seen who he's gone with? He's gone with Abel Sanchez.
Yeah, fucking Golovkin's trainer.
Ben Hall has left the Sims gym. He's still going to be managed by Peter Sims, but he's now trained by Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez. What a coup that is for him to get in it. So a massive shout out and good luck to him.
Enjoy sparring, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Golovkin, any chance of some rat now? Stay even fuck clear.
Yeah.
That's a good move for him. But talking about the gym. Listen, Spider Richards, Southern Area champion in his 8th fight.
Yep.
Fought a guy, Higgins, that was 12-0, and I know he was chasing Higgins for a little while. It's not like that fight was sort of offered to him. He was chasing Higgins for around 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was down in the gym with him last week, and Mikey Saki, who's a very good prospect. I say prospect, he's a little bit older. He's in a bit of a rush. He's not one of the. He doesn't want to pad his record out either. Felix Cash is a good fighter. Ted Cheeseman is really well thought of. Connor Ben's very young and got a lot of work to do. For me, the next one out of the combined, the 2 stables together, I think Craig Spider Richards is, he wants that English. You got this weekend Darryl Williams and Jermaine Smile fighting for the English title.
Good fight.
And I know he'd like the winner. He's fighting June the 3rd on Dillian White's undercard. Maybe, I don't know if that might be he's not going to defend the Southern Area title. He's going to relinquish that. So he may have one more fight and then look to fight the winner of that for the English, I think. So he's a guy very much on the up.
I see Peter Sims on Twitter saying that he's one of the best prospects he's ever seen.
Colin Lyons is in there as well, Colin Lyons is in that gym.
Fucking Colin Lyons, man.
Colin Lyons is a hero, mate.
Colin Lyons is how old is he, 40?
I think he's 37, 38. He's 50th fight in May.
What a legend. What a legend, Colin Lyons, man. Shout out Colin Lyons.
Man, he is. I met him for the first time on the Brentwood show, his last fight.
He seems like...
there with Mike and yeah, top man. Top guys. They're all lovely guys in that gym. Peter Sims' gym and the boys, they've been so accommodating to me, and they're really nice fellas. So, I want that stated for the record.
Absolutely. Shout out Donnell Smith as well, one of the best pads Big guys. Iron Boxing as well, doing their thing as well. So much respect for those guys. Let's move on. Let's hit one more, and then I'm going to go and eat my pizza. now that we're talking about physical fitness in boxing gyms, let's talk about Miguel's gym.
Miguel's gym, Brixton.
Miguel's gym in Brixton. Now, not as they've got Dillian White, who's I know he doesn't train there all the time. Dillian White, yeah. Isaac Chamberlain, Chris Congo coming up. A lot of other guys on the fringes coming up as well with some decent records. Ted Bami there. head coach of a couple of the guys. I know there's a couple of other coaches that are working there as well. John, Derek Williams does a couple of bits and pieces down there. What do you make of the guys coming up from that gym?
The guys coming up, well, you missed out Raheem Noble when you're talking about other fighters.
Raheem Noble.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Dillian, that's his home gym. He's with Mark Tibbs now, and I think they sort of go. I think they do train quite a bit in. They probably do Peacock as well, but they're in McGuigan a lot. They've got some really good boys. Ted Bami is well thought of in boxing. People that know it, you know what I mean, they know him, and he's a good boy. And Isaac's a very good prospect. Chris Congo, former member of the Britain squad. So he's a very, very good fighter.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of work to do with a few of those guys as well. But I know we've spent time with a lot of the fighters, and they all seem to have a nice buzz about the place, and everybody loves Ted Bami. Ted Bami's one of the sharpest dressers in boxing. You ever just went on fucking Ted Bami's Instagram and just went, I could never wear that, but Ted Bami looks fucking brilliant.
Ted Bami looks like he could have been an extra in 50 Cent's PIMP video.
It is outstanding, man.
He's a proper geezer.
Yeah, man. Ted Bami's the most stylish guy in boxing. Yeah. So there's some good stables. Where are we ranking them? Give me a top 3 for you before we wrap this up.
Alright, top 3 stables in the country, in my opinion. Number 3, I would go. No, I wouldn't. Alright, let me. Right. For me, Adam Booth has the best stable in the country.
Number 1, Adam Booth.
Number 1, Adam Booth. Just for the experience, top to bottom, and the prospects and the way that the boys look under him is sensational. Yeah. So for me, at the moment, Booth's gym and stable is the number 1 in the country. I think the Sims gym is going to be up there. The fighters and the prospects they've got, they're definitely there or thereabouts. And Shane McGuigan's boys also. One thing I didn't mention, you think of Don Charles just really quickly. He's got Frank Buglioni, the British champ. Derek Chisora, who's been about to fight Hellenius for a final eliminator in the WBC.
Yeah.
He's also a top boy, top man, top gym.
Yeah.
Great prospects coming out there. Nick Parker. There are some serious gyms. Barry O'Connell and Hammersmith State of Mind Fitness.
Yep.
All the boys in there. Dino, Dandan, Jack Hughes, Jamani. There's hundreds of them. And don't forget John O'Donnell.
My man John O'Donnell. John O'Donnell's holding it down.
Mate, the iBox. We forgot about the iBox.
Oh my God, there's gyms everywhere. Bradley Skeet.
Roman Richards. Darryl Williams. There's loads of boys out of there. Callum Miles. Mate, there's some excellent gyms in this country.
Excellent gyms in this country. Yeah, man. Check them out. Keep an eye on these fighters that we've mentioned. FightTalk.net will be popping by a few of these different gyms, I'm sure. Thank you very much for joining me. Sam, thank you, mate. Get back to work. Do some work, please.
I'm on a break.
You're on it? Yeah, okay. And I'm going to go and eat some pizza. And do not forget, there's going to be a general election, yeah? So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you very much. FightTalk.net. Take it easy.